Everybody, and welcome back to Let's Talk Stroke. I am your host and also a stroke survivor, Jerry Wald. And just to let you know, I started doing the show to bring awareness to stroke, TBI, aphasia, brain injury in a nutshell, and also to really provide a platform for all survivors to share their journeys from all across the world. So it's really important to get the word out. And also bring on experts in brain health. And so they can share their knowledge with all of us. Um, so this morning's guest is my friend Ella Sofia, and she had a stroke at 14 years old. But we're going to talk about mental health, and especially during the holidays, because it's a little more prevalent. But anyway, also please make comments, ask questions, and let's all get everybody else to get involved in this because it's a big topic. And also, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell, and so you'll be notified when we go live. So also, Ella is going to be streaming on um, her YouTube and Facebook channels too. So we'll get her exactly what her uh, channels are, so you can subscribe to hers as well. So let's go ahead and just start the show. Me to dance, taking a chance. Okay, good morning, Virginia. I see you, and Salute and Erica. And let's go ahead and bring on our very wonderful friend, Ella.
Hi!
Hey, how are you?
Everyone. I'm good. How are you, Jerry?
I'm doing good. And again, I mentioned my YouTube channel, which is Let's Talk Stroke. Good morning, Jerry. Good morning, T. Yvonne. Salute, as usual. And you can see the comments.
Yes, I see. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, and I know. Good morning, Scott and Michelle. And Marina? What's your? Because mine is Let's Talk Stroke as far as YouTube, and yours is.
Mine is Ella Sofia. So I think is my name coming up there? If not, you can go to actually my website, retrainyourbrain.ca, and all my links will take you to my various social media. But other than that, if you just type in Ella Sofia with 3 S's, it'll take you to my YouTube page and my Facebook.
Perfect. Awesome. So, Salute, can I ask you a favor? If you can remember that, to put that up there. Throw it in the comments. Ella Sofia with 3 S's.
3 S's because the 1 S version was taken.
Oh, wow.
3. It's Sophia spelled with an F, not a PH.
Yeah, exactly. Good morning, Michelle. Michelle, good to see you guys. So, I know this is a big subject. We've been talking about this for quite some time. Mental health, which, I look. I don't want to say I watch the news all the time, not all of it, but during this time of the year, boy, people really hold it in. They don't just say, like more people are not embarrassed, but they don't want to admit that they have an issue with mental health. Good morning, Laura.
Yeah, definitely. And I know I used to be like this until I learned how to sort of risk manage my mental health and talk about it and ask for help, as you mentioned in the show description.
Right.
But I think especially around the holidays, people, for whatever reason, maybe I think a lot of it has to do with social media, people seeing
Right.
pictures of other people gathering,
Right.
or couples, if you're single like me, seeing other couples, and you're reminded that you're alone maybe.
Right.
You're not alone. I'm sure everybody has a family member or a friend or some sort of community out there. But I know for me, seeing those pictures on social media used to be a big reminder, oh my gosh, I'm alone. I have nobody, which is not the case, but that can really take a toll on your mental health.
Right. Yeah, because you talk about it a lot. Every Sunday you do. Is it Sunday you do a YouTube live?
Not live, but I do post on Sundays. Yes, this is
Okay.
live.
You record it or whatever, and then it's amazing. So
thank you.
Again, please to subscribe to Ella's YouTube channel because every Sunday or it's recorded or whatever, but I watch it. And it's really really powerful. You do a
Thank
great
you.
job on that.
Thank you. So, when it comes to mental health, have you noticed a change in yours during the holiday season? Like maybe when you were younger, it was different. Maybe you get as you've gotten older, you've learned how to manage it. Like, what's your view on that?
Yeah, well, with me, I think it's like especially during the holidays or special occasions. For some reason, I don't feel like I feel like my heart pounding and something is it's not right. I feel like I'm not handling all these things correctly because especially when there's a lot of people around. I have to be the if I'm the like my family, I'm the one that's got to be in control, or I got to be the one to be um, not in control, but more. Well, how can I say that? To be
Like the host with the most?
yeah, that actually that's a great point, and so it kind of bothers me, and but I hold it in. I don't share it to anybody. So
Hmm.
that's how I feel with that. So
That's a good point that you made when you said you can feel your heart pounding. Like there's pressure on you
yes,
almost. Am I right?
absolutely. Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
yeah, I know it. I think I feel that sometimes too when I'm hosting anything for that matter, especially around the holidays, because normally it's bigger groups of people. For me,
Yeah.
I have a big family, and you always want to make sure you're pleasing everybody, and you don't want anyone to go home and think, oh my gosh, she wasn't a good hostess or host. She didn't offer me a drink, or did you taste that lasagna? That was so,
Right.
like that was
Yes.
gross. And yeah, you put
Yeah.
pressure on yourself for sure. So you said you don't really share that. Have you started to recently?
I more share it with like our community, people that
Mm,
had the issues like I see Yvonne saying anxiety, anticipation. So that's why I could share it with us that have had brain injuries.
mhm.
And that I feel like it's because a lot of people don't understand that have not gone through it. A lot of people think they do. I don't. That's how I feel. For the
I
most
think
part.
that's good. Yeah, that's a great point that like you have a community to share with. And I know I feel the same way where I feel comfortable sharing things with the brain injury community
Yes,
and you because I know we have all experienced something very similar. So you kind of
absolutely.
know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
true. Yeah, very true. But so do you share it with your other people as well that have like someone like me or a because you've been I've been watching your videos and you do share it and you actually have classes and do things with that and that's that I love what you're doing with that.
Thank
I don't know if a lot of people know what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
If anybody again is interested to chat with me, you can go to my website, retrainyourbrain.ca. But regarding sharing, I never used to ever, and that's kind of what brought me to my rock bottom. Is that I always kept everything in, I repressed it. I never talked about my feelings because I
Yeah,
thought that I don't know, we weren't supposed to. I thought if I shared what I was feeling, people would look at me like, "What's wrong with you?"
yeah,
But it
yeah,
turns out that everyone has, like, these same thoughts and feelings and, you're never alone. Um,
yeah.
and so now I've really learned what the power of being vulnerable, sharing your vulnerabilities, how as soon as you share a vulnerability, even though it may be very difficult for you personally, the
Yes,
likelihood of somebody else seeing that and saying, "Oh my gosh, I feel the exact same way." And then another person says that, and another person says that. And now all of a sudden, just like here on your show, Jerry, you have a group of people who all feel the same way. And now because you shared your vulnerability, you created a community. And
yeah,
that
absolutely.
equals
Yes,
strength.
absolutely. I'm going to bring this up. Thank you, Salute, for putting this. Retrain your
Thanks,
brain,
Lud.
and that's if there it is a link up on here. The screen doesn't show it is, but on the way Salute did it, it is um, it so you can click on that. Anybody wants to do that. I love reading the comments here because Yvonne, we are not going to be shocked at anything. Um, And Laura, bring it up here. Can you see that, what she's saying there?
It's important to share about mental health because vulnerability inspires others to not be afraid and share what's going on. Yeah, exactly. It inspires others to share their vulnerable moments as well. And then all of a sudden, you have two or more people connecting on the same vulnerabilities. And that's
Yeah.
how you build relationships and trust and community. And that's exactly how a vulnerability becomes a strength. I think that's such a beautiful thing.
It really is. And when I think about it, when I start talking, I used to be more embarrassed to say that I don't feel like I'm doing enough, or I'm embarrassed that I'm feeling the way I am. But when I talk to the community of brain injury, they understand for the most part, and it's okay to ask for help. I
Yeah.
completely understand that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think kind of on top of regular mental health challenges, I
Right,
know for me, kind of, and other brain injury survivors that I've met, overstimulation is a huge thing,
right,
especially during the holidays, because there's sounds and peoples and scents and everything is just overwhelming. And
yeah,
so being comfortable enough to say, hey, family member, if I start to feel a little bit overstimulated or overwhelmed, is it okay if I just kind of hop on into the bathroom and just take a couple minutes? So
yeah,
communicating that as well, that could be a huge challenge for somebody and feel like a vulnerability for sure.
yeah. It's so true. I mean, like with us this past week, having so many people over here, and someone's talking to me, and more people talking to me here. I don't know who to pay attention to, and just like you said, I need to go to the bathroom or go to the bedroom or somewhere and just kind of take a breather. And then I feel better. Okay, I'm going back out. And it's funny, my wife Barbara knows that what's going on. If I have to just leave, she
Mhm.
knows it's overstimulating me, and I need to just take a little time out for me. I need my me time,
Yeah.
and they do. Everybody else needs me time.
Yeah, definitely. And the fact that you just said your wife knows, like as soon as you make that move, she knows exactly what's going on. So you guys clearly have a really good line of communication. And I definitely encourage anybody who's watching this to talk to their partner or their parents or whatever
Yeah,
family member to try and establish that line of healthy communication as well.
right, right. And uh, Mike, I just brought. I know. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this many times because you do feel that. I mean, I don't want to admit that I felt like that.
Mm,
Suicidal. In the past, I don't want to feel like that. I can never admit, but I really felt like that
mhm.
sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, me too, Jerry. Mike, I totally understand where you're coming from, how, like when you have a traumatic thing happen to you
Yeah, yeah,
and it causes so much change in your body, not just physically, but well, your brain is a physical, it's going through physical changes too. You just can't see it. And so cognitively, I think the best person to talk about this would be who's our favorite gal? Um, oh my gosh, Karen
I-
Sullivan, Dr. Karen
yeah,
Sullivan. Um, but your brain's going through just went through a physical change after a
yeah,
stroke. Um, of course, cognitive changes are going to happen, and
yeah,
so if you have a professional there with you and helping you manage those cognitive changes, things can be a lot easier. So, like Jerry said, don't be afraid to seek out help, not just from family and friends, but from professionals. There's
yeah.
no shame in that.
Yeah, and I know you've been on the show before and all that, and you've had yours at 14 years old. You think about how would that be so young? I mean, things must be really wrapping around in your mind and your brain, but you learned how to deal with it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think mine was such a unique situation where, to be honest, before my stroke, I had poor mental health already. And then that just sort of, or my brain injury, my stroke exacerbated
Yes,
my poor mental health and just made things so much worse. And then, to my point earlier, I never talked about these things, nor was
yeah,
I educated on them. And so I just repressed, repressed, repressed for years. And then finally, because I was repressing things so long, it's like shaking a champagne bottle, shaking it with the cork on, and then finally it pops. Like you just
Yeah,
explode.
yeah, exactly. And I know with like loneliness, like what is it, recent loss of a loved one or
Mm.
financial issues. I mean, that just doesn't help as well. I mean, all those little things just add up, and then you have the holiday. Oh my gosh, it's just going crazy. And I appreciate you guys making comments and putting your comments in there because it does make a comment. So let's see, Stephen, when you were a manager, that's good enough. As my pet peeve, it didn't. Good enough isn't good enough. If it can be better, that's been my attitude most of my life. I admit, post-stroke life has slowed me down and have been tempted to settle and allow myself um, something or another. I couldn't see the rest of that. It's on there. Yeah, to say good enough, just be.
Oh,
Yeah,
good enough just to be disappointed.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I kind of understand. Hopefully, correct me if I'm wrong, Stephen, but are you saying that um, when something like you don't like complacency? Because when something, oh, it's good enough, like you reached the bar, but you want to be pushed a little bit harder to do better because doing better is always possible. So,
absolutely, absolutely. And Leslie, you must have missed the show the last time because Ella, yes, she talked about what she had. I don't know if you want to give a little couple
yeah,
minutes about what
yeah,
happened because it's really amazing. People don't know. Well, most people do know your story, but
yeah.
Leslie obviously doesn't.
Yeah, all good, Leslie. So basically, for anybody else who doesn't know, as Jerry mentioned, when I was 14, I had a stroke. It was caused by an AVM rupture. So I was born with this AVM in my cerebellum. Didn't know it was there. Never really had any symptoms, at least that we that would have triggered us to look in the head and do a CT scan.
Right.
Um, and so basically, when I was 14, that AVM, so it's a malformation of blood vessels, it burst and all the blood started being absorbed by my brain. And yes, you can imagine what followed. So, not paralysis, I was very lucky, but I had a lot of weakness on my left side. Um, Speech therapy. I was in a walker, um, some vision damage. Yeah, a lot of the usual. But
Yeah.
um,
You're in high school.
yeah, I literally just started high school. Literally just started.
Incredible. And by the way, happy birthday was just this
Thank
past
you.
week or
October. October.
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Around.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Absolutely. Leslie, okay, I see you said you did, so I forgive you. I don't know what I was saying that, but yeah, um, I love seeing you guys keep making comments and any questions because really I should have brought up all the stuffs about your website and what you are doing. I mean, your website again, Flood had it up there, so you may want to scroll back and there you go. Look at that. Happy
Oh,
birthday.
thank you. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah,
Yeah, so if you guys are interested, well, first of all, I have a lot of free content on my website and on my YouTube channel, or Instagram, Facebook, whatever is most convenient for you. Most of the things are in one place. I'd say go to my website because that seems to be like the most compact. That
yeah,
just has everything on it, basically. And yeah, I talk a lot about, I like to say, how to transition your rock bottom into your breakthrough moment. Um, and, breakthrough, I always talk about, to be clear, does not mean a single moment or it does not mean that you never have bad days again. It just means that you learn how to manage your bad days. And
right.
I think that's so under talked about in the mental health space, is that difference between avoiding bad things and managing them.
Right.
And I
Right.
think when you learn how the right tactics to manage them, and a lot of those tactics are on my website, then you're really putting yourself in a position to be happier and to succeed in your life.
Yes, and you have an amazing merch shop.
Thank
A
you.
lot of merchandise. There it is. That's one. Retrain your brain, and I mean the coffee mugs, a lot of different shirts, and which they're amazing. Um,
Yeah, thank you. I think it's so important to sorry, I have something in my eye. I keep doing this.
it's all right. It,
Um, it's so important to remind yourself of like certain mantras that keep you going. Teresa, great inspiring story. Ella, you helped inspire so many. Thank you for sharing. Oh, Teresa, that's so kind of you. Thank you. But yeah, it's important to remind yourself of these important mantras that
yeah,
keep you going in life. And one of them for me is retrain your brain. Um, I think we have so much more control over our brain and our mental health than we think we do. I know I never used to think I had control over those things until I started reading and educating myself a little bit more. And I realized, if I take the wheel again, then and I start controlling my own life, then I'm gonna be so much happier, and I'm
yeah,
gonna actually want to live because I used to not want to for a very long time.
yeah, absolutely. Because I know someone always says to me, you matter, and your story matters. I've
Yeah.
been told that so many times. Um, I see my 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 face mask. I don't know if I got sent you my face mask. So you're in Canada too, but I think I sent them out there. My have you seen my mask? Um,
I don't
with
know.
my face mask for COVID thing. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
let's talk stroke their face mask.
Oh, the Let's Talk Stroke mask. Okay,
Yeah,
cool, cool, yeah. Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. It is really cool. But the gal that I used to buy them from or have made, she went out of business during COVID. But
Mm,
uh, but that's but it, Ella is the reason you had a stroke. I know it's harsh, but you weren't made. You're made meant to help other survivors.
thank you, Yvonne, and honestly, first of all, that's so kind of you. Thank you so much. And I don't even think it's harsh. I think that is the truth as well. I've said to people, and maybe some of you haven't gotten to this point yet, and that's fine.
Yeah,
I truly believe my brain injury was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I'm with
It,
you on that. Yeah.
yeah.
How would you explain that? Because with me, same thing. At first, completely lost, no idea. It took me several years, and then I thought, well, how this happened, and here I am doing this, and I had a great job. I couldn't ask for a better job, and then this happened. You know how much money we make with this, nothing. But but I feel like I have a purpose to I have other people share their journey because I am so inspired by other people's stories too, and because they're all different. Everyone is different, but they are so for me very important to hear their stories to see we're not alone. Um,
Yeah,
yes, Marina, Ella is very inspirational, and
thank you.
yeah, Mike, that's So what do we need to do for Mike? He feels like he's regressing,
Mike, in terms of your mental health, or do you mean physically?
and I'm not sure if you remember, Mike's wife is a priest.
Oh, yeah, you did mention that.
Yeah, he lives
It
in the
brings it back.
UK. Um,
Right.
yeah, you're right, Yvonne. It brings out the best in some people. It really does. I'm with you on that. Exactly.
Mike, I think mental
Mental
health.
health.
Okay. Um how long has it been since your stroke or your brain injury?
Yeah, I forgot. I know I've talked to Mike a million times, been on the show he has, and I've been on his show. I haven't seen a show in a while, but
PMA, positive mental attitude. Yes,
uh,
salute.
yes, that is
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, she's awesome, and she does her show too.
Okay, 2016, Mike. So it hasn't, in hindsight,
No,
in the grand scheme of like it hasn't been that long. 5 years.
right,
Think about a 5-year-old human being. They're just a little kid, right? You're just
right.
learning, and yeah, you're new in the world. So yeah, 5 years hasn't been that long. I think, but now is the perfect time because you're still learning. You could either find the right information and go towards that direction, or you can find the wrong information and go towards that direction. A lot of learning and a lot of your brain is ready to be changing right now. That neuroplasticity, it wants to work right now.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, just start seeking out the right information. And I think that comes, or you have to seek that out in a few different spaces. So, number one, I think a professional. And I just want to be clear to everyone, a mental health professional, um, finding the right one for you, it can be difficult. Remember,
Yes.
mental health professionals, they're not like mechanics. It's not like you see a car and you fix that exact car before and you know exactly what to do. You have to find somebody who really vibes with you. It's like finding a friend. Really, that's what it is. Somebody who can ask the right questions and just understand you well. So I actually went through 4 different mental health professionals until I found the right one for me. And I know some people go through more, some go through
Yeah.
less, but that would be the first tip I have. And then secondly, find somebody who's already a friend, somebody who you already have that relationship built with. And it could be a family member, it could be a friend, and confide in them as well. Because sometimes somebody, even though they're not a professional, you need that friendship there, and you need advice from a friend and a little bit of love that maybe a professional can't necessarily give you. And then finally, I think you just have to take initiative on your own. And that doesn't mean you have to buy a book and read it all about mental health. Start with some YouTube videos. That's why I have my blog. That's why I have my YouTube. Find a little pieces of information, and little pieces of information built up are going to create a really big change. And that's my goal when I put out content, every week, every day, whenever it is. So those are the sort of 3 things that I would recommend you doing, Mike. And so,
That's a great points. Great points there. Um, Teresa, yeah, I see what you're saying there. Yeah, about not having it, but everyday PMA. Yeah, and I see with you too, Yvonne. Also, the gym helps.
oh, the gym, is that what?
Yvonne was saying, but she, I think that's probably helping with talking about Mike. I guess, that it does. I mean, I hate to say it. I need to go back to the gym,
Yeah.
but and I don't want an excuse. I have a lot of stuff here at the house, and went out and got the rower, all that stuff. I mean, I've got a really good rower and other stuff. Um, the rower is still, it's more of a coat hanger right now. I need
Oh
it. I know it's a weak excuse, but yes, Mike. Thank you, Ella. That's
no!
true.
Oh, you're
Um,
welcome, Mike.
yeah, there's a lot of good comments. I really appreciate this and ask. I mean, Ella does a great job, and I her blogs that she does all the time, and all the information on your website is so powerful. I mean, you guys can get so much information on this.
Thank you.
Yeah, you'll see. It really makes a big difference. Stephen,
Thank
I see it. Yep. See, you're a newbie too, really. I know, Stephen. You're on the show too. Uh,
you.
used to be right-handed retraining. Yeah,
And,
and that. Yeah,
and to Yvonne's point about the gym, I think that is the connection between your physical health, what you eat, and how active you are
yeah,
it's becoming more popular now in terms of education, but I think it's still not talked about enough. Um, and for anybody who's like, "Oh, the gym, like
yeah,
I don't want to do that. It's too expensive. I don't like." Don't even start there. Start with the smallest possible goal. Walk every day.
yeah,
Walk a little bit every day. It could be around your house. It could be inside of your house.
yeah,
Find things that you actually like to do. Because if you don't like going to the gym, at least not yet, you might in the future, you're not going to be motivated to do it, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't mind walking, or if you have a nice little neighborhood, or if you just want to sit in the backyard, start there too. Sitting in the backyard, at least being in sunshine, and reaching those little milestones, that's going to help motivate you to reach bigger goals in the future. I just had my sister send me this post, and I don't know who, it was a clip from a podcast, and I don't know what podcast, I don't know who the person was, but in the clip, this gentleman said, goals are not achievements, goals are direction. And I
Good.
thought that was really cool. Like, they're
Yeah.
supposed to direct you to the right way. If you're strained about achieving a goal, well, maybe that goal is way too big. Start small and just make sure you're pushing yourself in the right direction.
I like that. I like that quote.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds familiar. I've heard something. I don't know who that was. I don't know if that's. I don't think it's Anthony Robbins or it's. I can't put that on. Can't figure that out. But it's a great point though. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we missed any other comments. I want to. Oh, there's okay. Well, I see that some people like Teresa. Thank you for T. I call her T. Can you see her comment there? You want to bring it up?
Yeah. Removing toxic people is imperative to health. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And I totally agree that, you don't have to please everybody. You don't have to have every single person in your life. You don't have to be a friend to every single person. That's what I used to think. And I made time for everybody, and like just wanted everyone to be my friend, and I didn't want anyone to not like me. And I overwhelmed myself and I burnt myself out.
Yeah.
Setting boundaries. I actually have a video on my YouTube channel about setting boundaries. I recommend you guys check it out if you don't know how to do that.
Wow, that's really important. I know that we have somebody. I can't mention it, but that is like you mentioned, it's very toxic, and it's still driving me up crazy. It's like I can't get that out of my mind. What this person is doing. Is it a family member or not? But those are tough things to just brush away with. Just forget about it. It's tough, but
one of my on that note, one of my favorite ways to set boundaries with certain people is using the phrase keeping them at an arm's length.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you never want to rush to conclusions, or you never want to be like, I'm going to avoid that person, I want them out of my life. But you also don't want to completely put all your trust in them. So kind of using the phrase keeping you at an arm's length.
Yeah.
It's a kind of I just like using it. I think it's a really positive way of setting boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is it. Just you got it all figured out here. I mean, this is great. I mean, what you have done, Ella. I mean, you've really. I mean, can I really say you've come a long way? You know what I mean? In a way, from 14 going through those rocky roads. You mentioned there was a time before your stroke that you had some not issues. You mentioned something.
Yeah, mental health, like huge mental health problems before. And I appreciate that. That's true. That I feel like I've come a long way.
Yeah.
I used to be I'd like to think I'm not like this anymore, but very abrasive person, hard to talk to, just didn't know how to manage my feelings. Probably a micromanager. Like I really worked on a lot of aspects of myself. And if anybody here wants to do the same, I just encourage you to like look inside yourself, maybe step away from the computer, turn off social media just for except for Jerry's show. This is the best. Come back here. But to understand who you are, you can't have distractions.
Yeah.
And so set some time in your life that's distraction free, And I think you'll figure out who you are and what you need a lot quicker.
Yeah, very good, very good. It's really important to do that. Um, Gary Trader, nice to see you.
Thank you, Gary.
Yeah, Canella's website. Yes, happy birthday, Ellie. You're true. Beautiful, Gary. I love it.
Thank you, Gary. Also learned to say no.
Yeah,
That's a big one.
yeah. I'll put this up in a second here. Yeah, I agree, Marina. Exactly. Learn to say no. So important. Gary, you want Ellie? You want to? I'll have to bring it
My
up again.
website's here.
Oh
I
yeah.
just realized retrain. I think that's backwards, but it's retrainyourbrain.ca. I don't know how I can. I thought
Yeah.
I was in the chat
Dot
before.
.ca.
Yeah.
Let's see. I know I've got it. I'm looking. Ellie, you can do the. Look at all these comments. Ellie, you are awesome.
Thank you, guys. It's so nice to come on here while Jerry's looking, because I think it was Salud that made that. There it is. Woo!
There it is. Gary, that's it.
Awesome.
Retrainyourbrain.ca. And by the way, you are in Canada.
I'm in Canada, just outside Toronto. Yes, I love it here. It's great. Would I like it if it was warm all the time, like in Texas? Yes.
Yeah, that's wrong. But you know what? It's we like the other day it was 30 something degrees when we got up, and we have our crazy weather here. So, but I appreciate this. Let's see. I think it may sound, if I'm quiet, I don't really hate to say about the reading. You could read this, right? You could see it. Gravitate to only positive people. Yeah. I agree. Mike, good job, Mike. Retrain your. Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
This is awesome. Look at them all.
Yeah.
Look at them. I love bringing up the comments. So keep asking if there's any other questions. I mean, Ella's here. She's the one. You'll see when you get to her website. It's so powerful.
Thank you.
That could be fun. So much, yeah. What's this? So, Bryce, nice to see you here. Holy moly. You have fireplaces in
Mexico, Texas.
Absolutely. We did. But at our house, it was an upgrade. So we have fake fireplaces. You know those?
Yeah.
Yeah. But still, you probably need one over there or just use the heater, right?
Yeah. I like putting on the fireplace in the winter. It makes nice and like you just feel like, oh, the fire's crackling, and we have a fake fireplace too, but you know.
So do you ever somebody ask you what is depression? I mean, we think we know.
That's a really good question, Jerry. I watched a video one time, and it was, I think, I don't know if it was a psychologist or a psychiatrist. By the way, if anyone doesn't know the difference, psychiatrist, you're a medical doctor, you can prescribe medication. Psychologist, you can't prescribe medication.
Right.
But you have a PhD and a specialization. So I watched this mental health professional say the difference between depression and sadness is rumination. And I thought that was a really good point. So when you ruminate, like you're going over things over and over and over in your head until they just overwhelm you and they take up space in your head, and they're affecting your feelings. And I think some people are more prone to that. I was prone to doing that when I was 8 years old, before pre-brain injury.
Yeah.
But that still doesn't mean you can't control it. I totally believe that you can control your mental health. You can control taking yourself out of depression.
Right. Yeah, it's so true, man. depression is a mental health disorder. Um,
I actually
yeah.
don't agree with that,
Okay, well,
to be
this is great.
honest. Um,
I love it.
I think it is a feeling like a lot of other feelings, but it's exacerbated again by rumination. I think, and I know a lot of people might disagree with me. I've had a lot of people in the past disagree with me, but as soon as you tell yourself this is a, because I was telling myself this, I have a disorder. There's something wrong with me. I can't control it. I need medication.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I started spiraling worse and worse and worse because I was letting go of that control.
Wow.
And, I think I brought this up on your show before, Jerry, but I'll say it again briefly now. I was in a situation where I tried to take my own life,
Yeah.
and I had the first responders bust down my door. And it was in that moment where I realized, oh my gosh, I did this to myself. Like,
Yeah.
even though, you're not in the completely right state of mind because
Right.
you're ruminating and, that's affecting your future thinking. Nobody was holding a gun to my head, forcing me to do those things or think certain thoughts.
Yeah.
And so when I realized I had that control and I started enacting it again, that was the moment I was able to change my rock bottom into my breakthrough.
Yeah. I was waiting for you to say that. The rock bottom. That's it. It's absolutely true what you're saying there. We do have
Thank
control
you.
over it, but
Mhm.
yeah, that's tough. I mean, I haven't had that feeling in a long time, but it still crosses my mind. It's still floating out
Mhm. Yeah, and it could always be that way, and it probably always will.
there.
That's a difference between risk management and risk avoidance. Don't expect I had to tell myself this because I was thinking, "Oh, a bad day is never gonna happen again." But bad days do happen because we can't control everything.
Right.
Um, and so if you're ready for them with the right tools in your toolbox, then you can respond to them and be resilient to them in such a more productive way. And Yvonne,
Exactly.
it is a cool definition. Don't forget it.
Exactly. Exactly. That's
Hi, Robin.
yes. I don't know how many people. It'd be interesting to see how many people are on your, because we paired your YouTube and Facebook page. Um, so I can't see who is watching unless you have that.
No, I'm not able to see, but I'll take a look at my YouTube after and see if I
Yeah,
have any comments
absolutely.
or questions. Yeah.
Exactly. That's right. She won't forget. Yvonne won't forget. So
Aw, that's nice, Marina. Thank you.
absolutely. Great, great point,
Mhm.
Marina. But yeah, it's a big, big topic here. Mental health. What else do you say about mental health? I mean, how do we? I mean, this is something I think everybody's dealing with, especially with COVID too. I mean, or you're getting locked down. People can't see real people if you're living alone. Um,
Yeah.
I,
That is such a good point. It's funny. So I think so I'm an extrovert. I love not only do I love people because introverts can love people too, but the difference between an introvert is and an extrovert is whether or not people give you energy.
right.
So like you can be a social introvert, but and my mom is a social introvert. We've had this conversation before, but like that interaction is very draining for her.
Mhm.
And I imagine for a lot of introverts, that's how it is. But for
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
the more I talk to people, as you can probably tell right now, I'm just getting all fired up. Like I don't
Yeah.
even need a coffee right now because I will go crazy. Like
No, I agree. Same with me. Oh my gosh, I'm definitely
so that
exactly.
said, um, the isolation and not seeing people and working from home, that I know that's taken a big toll on me. Eventually I was doing pretty good at managing it, but eventually I was like, "Oh my gosh, I need social interaction."
Yeah, I
And
understand.
so yeah, you just have to find safe ways to do that. And yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's so powerful. So, but yeah, as far as being an extrovert or an introvert, I mean, I can see a difference from some family members because I'm definitely extrovert. I want to go talk to people. I love, I can't go to the store without me staying in there for an hour.
Yeah,
My wife is in and out. She knows what she's doing, but I'm not me. I'm just, oh my gosh. Let's
that's
see. There's
funny.
one here. Oh, Bryce. Bryce, you don't come to my show a lot. Can always talk to the birds, right, Jerry? I don't know if you knew my whole story, but when I was in the hospital, they walked me into the like a courtyard outside where the birds are. I was so out of it. I used to talk to the birds. My
Oh
wife
no
kept telling
way.
me, yeah, and I thought they were real. I mean, it's, I mean, kind of a crazy situation when you look back how far you've come.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Wow.
There's there's some other, and that's why I always volunteer. Yeah, I know you do.
Yes, Robin, get out, walk around, talk to others. Yeah.
Absolutely. I know uh, there's some like nerves. Sorry if I'm being quiet. I'm reading it
Yeah, that's okay.
at the
I'm
moment.
reading this too from Stephen.
Yes.
Death was a physical person. I wouldn't have called him, but if he had knocked on the door.
Hmm.
Yeah,
uh, that's right. It's a good comment that you mentioned about the extroverts and the introverts. I mean,
thank you.
and that would be good if everybody. What are you? I know some of you out there that are. I know exactly how you are. Um, but yeah, so you are an extrovert, and so this is causing an issue you just mentioned about with your mental health. Like you can't go out or you're working out at home. It's been taking a little toll on you, maybe.
Yeah, like, so again, I try not to, words are power. Because the more you say something, the more you think something. And if that thought is negative, then all of a sudden, again, you're losing that control of your life. And so I try not to say things like, it's so hard not being around
Mm,
people. Um, or, like it's really taking a toll on my mental health. That's not to say that it isn't difficult. But I just acknowledge those feelings in a different way now. So I'll just say I like to use the word challenge now. I find challenge is a bit more healthier because you're acknowledging something is difficult, but by saying that it's a challenge, you're kind of giving yourself that motivation to figure out how you can get through that challenge, right?
right, right,
Um, yeah, so it's been a challenge. And then my favorite question, again, going back to having control of your own life and finding that direction, my favorite question is, what now? As in, what can I do now to solve this problem? What can I do now to face this challenge in a healthier way?
right.
Should I pick up the phone and text a friend or call a friend or meet up for a walk or go for coffee? And just putting that control back into my hands, into my brain to figure out how to be happy and manage my mental health again.
Wow, very good, very good. I love it. Um, Again, I appreciate everybody,
Mhm.
making comments, and it really is nice to see people just like coming out and saying, what they're feeling because I don't want to say makes me feel good, just makes me feel like we're not alone. We have,
Yeah,
right, a lot of the same, do I say issues? No, the same, the qualities of,
experiences.
yeah, experiences, exactly. Wow. You should be a Dr. Sullivan.
I actually want to be.
Read
I
it.
would love to be a neuropsychologist. Just the thought of going back to school makes me want to throw up.
Exactly. But you did go to school. I mean, it,
Yeah, I did an undergrad in legal studies and psychology, and then I also did a master's degree in risk management, and that's where I learned a lot of my mental health tips, writing my research paper on risk management. I love learning. Um,
you could tell. I mean, yeah, it's evident.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if, and maybe I will do a PhD one time in the future.
Yeah,
I'm definitely, nothing's off the table for me.
right.
It just doesn't feel right now at this moment. So
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. That's really good. Let's see, because we're about near the end of the power show, the power
Aw,
hour.
thank you,
Nicely done.
T.
And love you too, T. Yeah, and Yvonne's saying do it then, but it's not the right time. So
Yeah, yeah. I might, maybe in the future. I'll let you
yeah,
guys know if I do. You'll know.
yeah,
You'll hear it.
can't wait, can't wait. But any last parting words, Ella? Because you really, obviously, not obviously, because I know this, but you're so inspiring, and what you've done for yourself has been remarkable. Or maybe I
Thank
shouldn't say
you.
that, but you've done amazing things and
Thank you.
still
And
are. So
you have too, Jerry. Honestly, like look at the reason everybody is here in this virtual room is because of you. And that I want to acknowledge that. So thank you.
oh
And
no, I appreciate it. I think you're asking. This is to
me?
Ella.
Okay, so yeah, thanks for asking that because I feel like this year coming stroke anniversary is going to be a special one for me.
Yeah,
I don't like celebrate it. I know some people celebrate it as a re-birthday. I think because I was so young, it wasn't really something to celebrate for me, but I celebrate the heck out of my birthday because the stroke
yeah,
anniversary wouldn't have happened if my birthday didn't happen. But this year, so I was 14 when I had my stroke, my AVM rupture.
yeah,
And this year, January 10th, 2022, it'll be 14 years since my stroke. So I would have lived half my life pre-stroke and half my life post-stroke this coming January. So it's 14 years to answer your question, and maybe I'll do a little bit of a celebration this year.
yeah. I just can't even believe it's been 14 years. For some reason, I thought I was um, not the newbie. For me, 11 years, but
Close, close.
yeah, not too bad. But yeah, so thanks, Mike. Thanks for showing up. So the last any other things, or did I just say? I think I said that, but then I highlighted the comment from I know T. Yes. So
Yeah, last parting words. Basically, thank you everybody for being here. We had so many comments. I love talking to everybody here, especially you, Jerry. I thank you for having me on. Um,
absolutely anytime. My goodness.
and if you guys want to, start working on your mental health, managing it, you start on my website, retrainyourbrain.ca. And if you want to talk to me further, you can message me on Instagram. And I also provide one-on-one coaching, and you can sign up directly through my website. And we can work together as well.
Yes, absolutely. That was terrific. Just last one here. This one here. So I hate to bring more quotes up. Ella, you're so competitive.
Why, Yvonne? Why can Jerry not be second in anything?
Yeah. Um, it's because we watch Salud's show. She does a show here in a half hour. And the biggest thing is we always try to who wants to be the first one to make a comment or show up there. So I'm usually first, Yvonne, but I think that's what she's meaning. But
Gotcha.
yeah. So anyway, Ella, I don't even know where to start or end because you're such an inspiration. And so
Thank you.
they say it's kind of a flattering to have you on my show. It's really fun.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Jerry. And it was so great to see all of you.
Yes, absolutely. So you guys have a great Thursday. It's almost Friday. So Ella, you as well. And can't wait to hear about the two streams on yours.
Yes,
To hear
definitely.
about that. I can always look at it too. But thank you. I appreciate it. And as we
Definitely.
always, oh, there we go. That's you. I love it. All right. Take care, you guys.